Neighborhoods in the district say their homes are shaking due to Metro's new train. Last year, residents complained about their homes being shook at areas like Petworth and Southwest Waterfront, where the Green Line travels just beneath street level. Now they are also talking about the emergence of the new 7000 series rail cars for causing their homes to shake, disrupting their sleep and potentially damaging their foundations.
The latest SafeTrack work on the Metro is going to bring some major adjustments for Virginia commuters. Blue Line trains will be running 24 minutes apart, even during rush hour. Zain Alma-Ois reports.
As winter ends and spring begins, the Metro is working on its newest SafeTrack plans, Surge 13, affecting the blue and yellow lines. These lines will run less frequently due to the 24/7 zone between Braddock Road and Huntington Van Dorn Street stations, where trains will share a single track and run every 24 minutes. Known as a plan to address safety recommendations and rehabilitate, it has affected many Metro users, making their daily commute longer and tiresome. Some Metro riders have not been affected by the delays, but understand what is happening with some riders.
That's my understanding. I heard a lot of complaints, and my understanding as well is that the ridership is going down, so I guess people are using their cars, so maybe because there are some issues.
This part of SafeTrack will run from March 4th to April 9th and will be divided into two phases. Phase 1, which started on March 4th, will continue until April 1st and affect blue and yellow lines running on a single track between Braddock Road and Huntington Van Dorn Street stations. Phase 2 will run from April 2nd through April 9th, affecting trains running between Huntington and Mount Vernon Square. Some people visiting from abroad have been affected by the delays and have stories to compare their experiences.
It delays their journeys and they could be late for work and takes more time to travel around the city.
Blue and yellow line riders are advised by Metro officials to use other alternative transportation during the time being. Zain Alma-Ois, District Wire News.
We have hit street sweeping season in DC. This means you'll need to pay even more attention while you're parking in the city. Look out for posted parking restrictions on residential streets now through October 31st. These red signs and white signs will mark the towing zone and street sweeping hours. If your car is found in the zone during street sweeping hours, then you may find a $45 ticket on your windshield, or even worse, get towed.
Popular ride-sharing app Uber has been in the news a lot lately. On Friday, the New York Times released a report that the app has been grayballing police officers and public officials. Our Aaron Lerner is in the Flash studio with more.
Thanks, Grace. So according to the New York Times, what Uber has been doing is identifying the accounts of public officials and law enforcement officers and attaching a small piece of code to those accounts. Now what that code does is anytime one of those people opens up the app, it either populates their little map with a bunch of phantom cars that aren't actually there, or removes all of the cars entirely. What ends up happening is that the public official, the gray-bald person, doesn't get a ride. Uber has been getting a lot of media attention recently. A few weeks ago, a former employee blogged about being sexually harassed in the workplace. And last week, their CEO was caught on camera berating a driver.
Now, I did not like what I saw, the way he carried on with the driver. And that part I did not like. I did see that. Uber, they cater more so to the rider than the partner or the driver.
Make a left turn on New Mexico Avenue Northwest.
Ms. Nicole said that she was pleased that Uber seemed to be protecting the drivers with grayballing, but she was concerned with Uber breaking the law.
It's definitely a blurred line, so it sort of depends on why Uber is using the technology and to what effect they're using the technology. So in cases where Uber is using the technology to keep its drivers safe or avoid harm, that is definitely a much more justifiable means, right? But in cases where Uber is using the technology specifically to evade law enforcement, we're definitely getting into some blurred territory there with obstruction of justice.
But are Uber's latest issues affecting ridership? We asked a number of American University students to find out.
It makes me reconsider it a little bit.
It does bother me a little bit.
No, it's made me reconsider for sure.
No, I will continue to use Uber.
Price matters more.
Now, even though many of the students that I spoke to said that they were concerned about Uber's latest issues and that they were reconsidering using the app, none of them specifically said that they were going to stop or switch to a competitor. Back to you guys.
The Virginia Department of Transportation is approving plans to extend I-395 express lanes to D.C. Their project will extend toll lanes another 8 miles from Edsel Road in Alexandria to the D.C. line. Construction on this $450 million expansion are set to begin later this year.
The newest trend in nail design includes an illegal substance. Manicurists in California are jazzing up traditional nail art by adding crushed marijuana leaves to gel and acrylic manicures. Photos of a variety of weedicure designs have popped up all over social media. But it would be a good idea to live somewhere where marijuana possession is legal before trying this trend.
Maryland Governor Larry Hogan is declaring a state of emergency in response to the rising heroin and opiate usage. The governor announced a plan that will include $50 million in funding. Legislative will prevent doctors from prescribing more than 7 days worth of opiate painkillers for patients. Heroin and opioid overdoses have increased 33% in the past 5 years, with a total of 52,000 people dying from overdoses in 2015.
Coming up, the Martin Luther King Library closes for renovations. But what does this mean for the homeless who use the space for shelter during the cold winter months? Stay with us.